We got so much stuff to cover today, and I just want to make sure I can get through all of it with you because, man, boy, howdy, have there been a lot of things going on over the last week or so. But let's start local, then we'll go national, then we'll go a little bit global. So tune in, stay tuned, and if you're watching us online, hit the share button, hit the retweet button. It don't cost you nothing. Drop a comment. We'll do our best to pop the comment up on the screen and be part of the conversation, okay? So, where I live, right here in Rochester, right? As many of you guys know, the Democrats have controlled our city for ages. Now, the craziest thing about that is they have been the sole ones in power for over 40 years, almost 60 years, you know. We're pushing 50 and some change now. So this is a very serious situation. But the fact of the matter is that with them being the only one in power, that means that they're the only ones that we can hold responsible for all of the policies, whether they're good or whether they're bad. Most of them are bad. And that's just the God's honest truth. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. Let's look at our economic situation in the city of Rochester. Trash. I love my city, don't get it twisted, but the economic system here in Rochester is trash. Where are all the good paying jobs? They've been promising us good paying jobs for forever, as long as I've been alive. They've never seemed to materialize, you know? And what does the city do? Do they focus on actually allowing small businesses to flourish or putting in policies that allow small businesses to flourish or encourage small businesses and entrepreneurship? Absolutely not. That's not happening. Or you look at the things with the crime. Whose policies are in relation to crime? Who's the ones that control the policies for the police? That is the city council. Is anybody doing anything or saying anything about that? No. Okay, so that's that. Then you have the housing issues. Housing has been an issue for quite some time. It wasn't always a big issue in my lifetime, right? Like, so we're just talking really the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, you know, and it really exacerbated after COVID. You know, I shouldn't even say 10, you know, it's really like the last 8 years. Housing has been a real issue, but it's become more and more of a big issue again because of poor policies from our elected officials, in this case, city council, and who all is on city council. Every single one of them is a Democrat. So again, this isn't me hitting on Democrats. This is me pointing out the fact that every single person in these positions of power are Democrats. You can't make it up, right? So if they've been in power for decades, only them, no Republicans, then who can we put that responsibility on, right? The responsibility and the onus is only on the Democrat Party. So where are the other people that are here in our city that are registered as Democrats that are willing to hold these other Democrats accountable? That's my big question. And this is what we talk about on this show a lot: getting active and accountability by our elected officials. It's not just when you get out and you go out to vote. Remember, there's an election this November 4th this year. Is it 4th? Yeah. November 4th this year. Make sure you get out and vote. But before you do that, go research all of the candidates. Make sure that they have plans and real tangibles, and they're just not giving you a wish and a dream, because that's what a lot of them do. And that's a serious problem. But here, we've got all of these people are Democrats, right? And we've got a town full of Democrats. But all of these issues persist. So where are the Democrats holding these Democrat elected officials accountable? And I just don't see it at all. And that is a serious problem, because it's not just that I don't see it, it's that it doesn't exist. And this is why I encourage all of you guys, get active. Hit the share button, hit the like button. The more hearts and thumbs ups that you put, the more the algorithm will push it out to more people. Share it on your page, your friend's page, and everybody else's page. So as we have this conversation about the importance of getting active in local politics, I know that everybody isn't able to do everything, right? So for me, I focus on city council and what can be done in the legislative and budgetary priorities for city council, because that's what city council handles. But really, we need somebody also to hold these people on school board accountable. Again, all Democrats. The schools are failing. We're the second most funded school district in the nation, the RCSD, and we're the second lowest performing school in the nation and the lowest performing school district in the state. Can somebody make that make sense to me? It's clearly got to do with policies. policies, legislation, budgetary priorities. What's going on? So we need people to get active on that level as far as the school board goes. But I see the school board meetings, nobody goes to the school board meetings. It'd be like 3 people and the janitor, you know, and 2 of the people be somebody else's spouse that's there. So this is the issue that we face here. And I'm sure that many of you guys face it wherever you are across the nation, okay, or even maybe international if you're international. Because what we have is we got a lot of people that got a lot of mouth. They like to get on the internet and they like to complain. They like to pitch a fit. They like to say, oh, I got all the solutions and all, we should be doing this, they should be doing that, this, that, and the third. What are you doing to do that? What have you put in place to do that? What are the action things that you're doing to do that? You understand what I'm saying? And people will say, oh, well, somebody will do it. Oh, I can't do it. I can't be bothered. This is what happens a lot during the election cycle when candidates are running. People might be asked to make phone calls or asked to donate, and people are like, well, I just don't have money to donate. Or, well, I can't make phone calls. What do you mean you can't donate or make phone calls? You got so much mouth on the internet, you won't even put your money where your mouth is? Okay, bet. You can't put money towards it. I get it. Money's tight. You know what I'm saying? Well, put an hour in. Make a couple phone calls, you know? Say, hey, I can do one weekend. I can go put out some flyers, you know? Can you give me some flyers to do in my downtime? Like, these are the questions that we need to be asking of candidates if we want to see a difference. Are these candidates specifically focused on issues? Do they have the real solutions for us? Some of them do. I see a lot of good candidates get out there and then they don't get the support from the public physically, right? Like, they need physical bodies to make phone calls and to go out and knock doors. But if it's not you, then who's going to do it, you guys? If it's not you, then who? Nobody is coming out of plane and nobody's coming with a golden parachute. Nobody's coming out the clouds. Nobody's coming up out the ground to save us. Nobody's going to do it except us. I'll tell you this. I put up a post over the weekend, and I want to say it was, 2 days ago now? Maybe even, might have been yesterday. No, 2 days ago, because yesterday was the Dominican day. So 2 days ago, there was a CARAFest here in Rochester, right? So the CARAFest was downtown at MLK Square. Now, MLK Square is right in the heart of downtown, smack dab in Center City. So after that, there was a whole bunch of people acting a raw riot on North Clinton. Just acting very foolishly, blocking up traffic, dancing all over the place, twerking in the street, on top of the Family Dollar. On top of the Family Dollar? First off, how'd you get up there? Secondly, what are you doing up there? Get down. But complete and utter lawlessness. You know, they had some of these people were out, they got on top of buses that were trying to get through the traffic, you know, making the buses not be able to go forward and stuff like that. What type of behavior is that? You know, and I posted a video specifically in relation to that, showing some of the insanity. And you know how many people commented on that? It had like 63 shares and like 100 comments, right? We're the people that are willing to get active. This year is an election year for city council. Why is this insanity going on? Because of city council. Because we have a weak city council that doesn't do anything. In one of them even said out their mouth, Mary, who just ran for mayor, don't get me started on her, we're going to leave it alone for right now. But she said out her mouth, we're a legislative body that doesn't legislate. Then why are you on there? Step down. You know what I'm saying? Like, step down. If you're not going to do something, if you're definitely not about to do your job and you're getting paid to do the job, step down. I feel the same way about the people in Texas right now, but we'll talk about that a little later. But talking about this situation, their city council, they're doing what? Nothing. Nothing. No legislation. They tell the police that they can't pepper spray anybody. Oh, you can't use tasers on anybody that's under the age of 18. How am I supposed to know if somebody's under the age of 18? I'm just supposed to look at them and just perceive them. Isn't that the reason why we check IDs for cigarettes and for liquor? Like, are we being serious right now? Like, but, you know, just let them commit crimes and stuff like that. And these are the serious issues that we don't get a chance to talk about because none of them want to talk about those issues. Where do you see city council talk about that? Nowhere. They don't talk about this. They don't talk about the crime. They don't talk about the violence. They don't talk about none of it. Speaking of ridiculous nonsense from city council and them not doing anything, let's talk about the East End. We've talked about this before on this show. Drop a comment if you want to comment and be part of the conversation. I'll pop it up on the screen. Okay. But we talked about this before on this show, and it's the tyranny that we're facing in our city right now. Okay. The mayor has this, I guess you would call it a executive order in place. It's called the gun violence state of emergency. Why do we need a state of emergency for gun violence? Understand what I'm saying? It just gives the government more power than they actually need and than they actually deserve. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who's in office. I'm very much so against government overreach. Okay? I don't even care if it's in theory something that I should or would support. I'm not for it. Why? Because I know that the more power that you give the government, the less power that you have as an individual. And they're never going to give back that power. Understand that. The government will never give back the power unless they're forced to give back the power. And this is a big, big issue. So the mayor and his gun violence state of emergency, he's been doing a whole bunch of things that are government overreach. Government overreach, right? Now you might say, Marcus, oh, well, I dislike the mayor, or Marcus, I love the mayor. Okay, you can love the mayor or you can hate the mayor. That's not my point in this conversation. My point is to talk specifically about government overreach. So now you go and you look at the issue on the East End. So the East End was declared unilaterally a special event zone by the mayor. Okay, didn't ask the businesses, didn't ask nobody over there, didn't ask the people living there if that is what they want. The mayor just said, this is what I'm doing and this is what is happening. And because of that, the businesses in that area have lost tons of money. Tons of money. I know personally because I have friends that own businesses over there. I've interviewed pretty much everybody that works in businesses right there in that part of East Main. East Ave. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And they're like, yeah, man, we're losing money hand over fist since they instituted this policy where they are checking IDs and frisking people to get into a public neighborhood. Stop now. You get what I'm saying? Like, the government is forcing people to show their IDs to get into a public neighborhood. Excuse me. Like, is that what we're doing right now? It's crazy. And a number of businesses have either shut down or they've sold themselves off and been sold at a discount, or there are businesses that are now closing down. Axis and Ales, one of the businesses over there, is now closing down. And that's unfortunate situation. It's an unfortunate situation. And I was speaking to the owner about what was going on and stuff like that. And they said, yeah, man, before this, we really started to have our business kick off, because I do business development and stuff like that. And I do business consulting. So we were talking about it. We were commiserating about business stuff and stuff like that. And they was telling me, he's like, we were here. We're just getting in our 5th year, getting to do really, really good. All of a sudden they pop this up and it's a mess. Well, the problem is the mayor pitched it as something that was good. Now, I don't even want to lean on the mayor like this, because the real problem is city council. Okay. And you might say, well, Marcus, it's an executive order from the mayor. Well, why is it city council's responsibility? Why is it their fault? I'll tell you why. Because city council should have overrode that. City council could have overrode that. Okay. Because again, they're the legislative body of our city. But they don't even do anything when it comes to legislation. It's absolutely abhorrent and ridiculous. And it's a serious problem. But can we talk about that? No, they don't want to talk about that. And these are the serious issues we have. Then just the other week, we had the Puerto Rican festival. Okay. Not to be lumped together with the Caribbean festival, which I was just talking about a moment ago. But we had the Puerto Rican festival, and they told all of the businesses on North Clinton, they told all the businesses on North Clinton that they got to shut down early because it's going to be a raw riot outside and nobody's coming to help them. And they said, if you don't shut down your business, we're going to fine you and give you a misdemeanor as a business and as individual. Like, come again? Like, are you serious? Like, you're punishing businesses, but not the criminals, right? Like, this is what you're doing. Again, through the mayor's gun violence state of emergency. What did city council have to say? Nothing. Nothing. Then after me hounding them for days over the whole issue and really giving them a heart, it's so disgusting, it makes me want to spit. After me hounding them and beating them raw on the pause and beating them upside the head on the internet, okay, then three of them come out, Stanley Martin, what's her name? Mary Lupian and Kim Smith, right? So they come out and they're like, oh, well, geez, essentially, and this was essentially their statement, right? Like, oh, well, geez. Like, really? Like, really? Like, no, this shouldn't be happening, none of that. And Mary made a statement herself. I wish I had it in front of me to read it. It made me want to kick over somebody's flower pot, I tell you what. You know, and she was like, yeah, you know, well, it's a lot of stuff going on and this, that, and the third. And she didn't really say even anything. She didn't say anything. And that was very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. You know, because we got all of these issues in our city that these people don't talk about. They don't talk about all of the overdose deaths that we have. Why isn't city council doing something about that? Why don't they ever talk about the overdose deaths? Never. We got tons of overdose deaths that happen right down in the RTS Transit Center right downtown. Take the bus, they say. Nonsense. Okay? You know, like, we don't even talk about that. Can we talk about all of the murders, right? Like, we've had about 5-6 murders. We're averaging right now, I feel like in the last 2 weeks, we're averaging a murder every other day. Every other day. And that doesn't even include the stabbings and the shootings and everything that's going on daily. Right? Like, so what are we really doing? And why can't we talk about these issues? These are very serious problems. The city council doesn't even want to address them. But the other day, we had a guy that was apparently breaking into cars, trying to steal people's vehicles, armed robbery, all types of stuff. Okay. And he had a firearm. And when the police confronted him, okay, the guy pulled his firearm after, and this was after the police trying to tell him to be chill and all of this stuff, and then trying to restrain him and all of this. He wanted to tussle with the police and everything. And then he pulled out the gun. Right? And he got it in both hands. And I'm looking at it like, man, this dude about to draw down on somebody real good in the right manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you see people on the street or people that think they thugs or gangbangers or whatever, and they don't hold the guns right, or they'll hold it with one hand or whatever the case is, which is, I'm not saying you shouldn't hold a gun with one hand, but in theory, you should not hold a gun with one hand for most practical intents and purposes if you're trying to really hit something. So homeboy had it both hands clasped. Looked like he was about to do something like really, really. And people mad that the police shot him. I guess he ended up dying, and that's an unfortunate circumstance. But still. And that brings up 2 points right there. The serious issue that we have where it's difficult for law-abiding citizens to own firearms, but it's easy for criminals and people that want to be out here doing no good to get firearms. But because of the horrible laws in the state, it makes it difficult for you or me or anybody else to own a firearm, more or less use it in defense of ourselves, our property, or our family. And that needs to change. But we should be having a conversation about that. But no, these same three, Mary, Kim Smith, and Stanley, going to issue a statement talking about, oh, the police are bad. They're terrible because they shot him. Excuse me. Illegal firearm. Y'all going to want to talk about that for a second? Because y'all be the same people that be like, we need to get rid of all the guns. And you guys know, if you follow me, I'm not with that nonsense, whatever. I believe everybody should be armed, and we should turn our area into a constitutional carry state. Okay, more or less, to start off with, a sanctuary state for the Second Amendment. Okay, at least in our county and definitely in the city. Because we need to be able to protect ourselves. It's very clear. You call the police don't show up because they busy. I was looking at the calls the other night, and they said they got 12 calls high priority holding in the Genesee section. That's my section. They said they got another 11 holding in Lake section. Now, Lake section and Genesee is right near each other, so they can't even help each other and overlap. It's a wrap. You understand what I'm saying? And then that wasn't even Clinton section. I couldn't even see what was going on in Clinton section. And I'm sure if Genesee and Lake was going down like that, Clinton was off the chain. So these are the issues. Like, we need to be able to protect ourselves. But that should have been a part of the conversation. Why did he have a gun? Why was it he had an illegal firearm? Can we talk about that? No. What was he doing that he didn't declare himself to the police? And why was he scuffling with the police when they tried to detain him to begin with? But we can't have those conversations. And unfortunately, the circumstances ended up where the guy ended up passing because of the choices that were made that should have never been made to begin with. Okay, and they gonna blame the police. I don't blame the police. Homeboy got a gun, and people here in Rochester have a habit of trying to harm police officers. They'll ambush them, they'll shoot at them, they'll threaten them, all types of crazy stuff. I couldn't be a police officer here because one, I'm not chasing you, I'm putting you down. Two, I'm not about to deal with all that mess. So God bless every single officer and person that's going out to be a police officer here, because y'all more into it than I am. I wouldn't want to do it. So I thank them so much, because I know me myself, I'm not about to do that. I don't have the temperament that's needed, seeing the way that they get treated. You understand? And then people are like, oh, well, the police don't never come. Of course they don't never come, because you got these fools out here that's denigrated the police so bad that the police are so spread so thin because so many people have retired or they've gone off to other states to go be police. You know, like, these are conversations we need to have. But again, city council doesn't want to have these conversations. And these three fools out here talking all this nonsense, but they ain't said nothing about the 10-year-old boy that was shot. They ain't said nothing about the 14-year-old boy that was stabbed up. They ain't said nothing about the girl that was, how old was she, 13? The 13-year-old girl that got all stabbed up. Okay, they ain't said nothing about none of that. None of that. They ain't say nothing about the 12-year-old and the 14-year-old running people over. Okay, they ain't said nothing about that. So where is the medium, right? Where is it, right? Like, there should be some sort of in between somewhere where you talk about a little bit of both or something, or at all. But there's nothing, you guys. There's absolutely nothing. It's repugnant. These people are trash, bro. Straight trash. And they don't care about you. You don't matter to them, but you matter to me. Now, let's kick it on some other stuff, because I do got quite a few things that I want to get through, and I don't want to say on just this stuff here. But let's talk about the DA, the district attorney. She's stepping down. So now I believe the way that it works, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, you guys. Now the state is gonna appoint somebody, which means Kathy Hochul is gonna appoint somebody, and she's terrible. I got some comments here. We're gonna jump into these comments real quick. I see y'all. Let's see. Iva, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I see you there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this with some other people. Share it on your page. Anna, I see you there. Thank you for commenting. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. All right, let's see. We got some other comments. Let's see. How do I do? Oh, we got some more comments. We got Anna saying, listening while my middle son drives. We're traveling back to Western New York from Ann Arbor. Glad to be with you. Glad you're listening. Glad you're tuned in, Anna. Let's see. What else we got? Let's see. Anna says, yes, God bless and protect the Leos, our Leos. The Leos are law enforcement officers. Okay. 10-year-old, let's see, a 10-year-old shot in his bed while he was sleeping. Yes, ma'am. The 10-year-old that was shot in his bed while he was sleeping. Like, city council didn't say nothing. Not one press conference, you guys. Not one press conference. They didn't even issue a statement to the news. They didn't talk about that at all. And it's crazy. It's absolutely abhorrent. Now, let's jump into real quick about our district attorney. So our district attorney, long story short, had some issues where she was pulled over about a year ago now. And she had some issues with that, or whatever the case is. And she behaved definitely in an unacceptable manner in that engagement. I'm not okay with the way that she behaved, you know. But anyway, so she's a good DA for all intents and purposes compared to what we could have. You understand what I'm saying? Now, and I say that very intentionally because last time she ran, first of all, I want to give a shout out and a thanks to her. Sandra, I appreciate you very much for running again last time. I know you didn't want to run again. I know you didn't want to run again. Thank you for running. Thank you for even coming, because I know Listen, again, another job that you wouldn't really want to do. With all these criminals on the loose running wild and the state laws prohibit you from even holding them or whatever the case is. And in many times you can't even really prosecute them the way that they need to be. So I thank her so much for actually doing it. You know, of course, there's a lot of haters out there because they don't want anybody to go to jail, you know, and I'm sure some people have some righteous issues that are totally legitimate with the district attorney's office. Okay. I know I definitely do from something from a long time ago, but that was before she was even in office. But the fact of the matter is she was a pretty good DA. She actually went after the criminals, you know, and the issue with that is last time she ran, there was a DA that was being backed by George Soros. Like, this isn't a makeup. You can go look up local news here, right? Like George Soros, the guy who hates humanity, who wants to put all of the power in the hands of the elites and is putting in all of these different DAs so that they don't actually prosecute crime anywhere. So he put $1 million to the other lady's campaign that was against Sandra last time. Okay. And that was real serious. And she still won by the grace of God. Hallelujah. But anyway, because of her instance, the situation that she had with the police last year, they were giving her a hard time after it. Again, I don't agree with her behavior in that circumstance, but I also don't think that she should have resigned. That's a whole separate conversation. But anyway, so she's resigning. And with her resignation, that means that Kathy Hochul, the woman who just loves all the criminals so much, who continues to close down prisons to let the criminals run wild, and especially in the underserved and Black communities, okay, that's where they all go, where all the criminals go. They go to the underserved and Black communities, okay? That's where they go. Those are the people that they're terrorizing. That's what Kathy Hochul wants. She wants them to terrorize these neighborhoods because at the end of the day, she knows that the more that they terrorize these neighborhoods, the more crime that they encourage from the state level by state laws like bail reform and raise the age laws, that means it puts more power on her because the people are going to clamor for somebody to do something. And she really, really, really is itching to put the National Guard out there. So be part of the conversation, drop a comment, hit the share button, share this out with more people. It don't cost you nothing. Share it to your friends' page, share it to your page, hit the retweet. Go ahead and share and hit some more likes and hearts and drop a comment because all the comments, even if you just say, hey, help out a lot. So she's now stepping down and Lord forbid, I don't know who's Kathy's going to put in, but I'm very concerned because like I said, the crime is already outrageous. We just had a 14-year-old kid night before last, stabbed up. Okay. And that was on top of 3 other shootings. This was in the North Clinton area, by the way. That was on top of 3 other shootings right in the same area. Okay. That we know about, right? Those are the ones we know about. That's not the ones that weren't known about. And after the Puerto Rican festival, as a matter of fact, there were 3 people shot that night too. Okay. And people were acting a raw riot that night. And a lot of people are out here blaming it on the festivals, but it's not the festivals. It's the city council. It's the state assembly. It's the state senate. It's these people that make these laws that allow criminals to run wild. And it's the people that refuse to actually stand on public safety and stand up for the people to hold these criminals accountable. They don't want to do that. They know that it's in the underserved neighborhoods, that it's in the Black neighborhoods. So they know that they don't really have to do nothing or show no concern. And what will happen is people will either die off or move out, and then they'll just sell the property off cheap, and they'll get new developers and bring more people in from out of town. And that's their solution for the poverty problem in our city, is kick out and gentrify the whole city. They'll go look up the city's 2034 plan for Rochester. I call it the Great Displacement Plan, because the way they redo the zoning and the different projects and the stuff, that's all that it is. It's about displacement. And I'm telling you right now, if you live in this area, it's about getting everybody out of this area that makes less than $250,000 a year. I'm telling you now, you have been warned. There isn't much time left. That's why the fight continues. Let's jump into another thing. Okay, so I want to before we get too far out here, I got to do this. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're listening and watching to The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. We're here on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. We thank you for tuning in. Our show is every Monday, 2:30 to 4 p.m. Okay, make sure you're sharing this out. And if you're listening to us on the radio, if you ever need to catch up, check out my YouTube page, the Marcus C. Williams channel. Now, let's get back into it. So let's talk about Billy Gates, right? Everybody's best buddy. Bill Gates is out here. He's up and at it again, man. If this man wasn't trying to do everything that he can to destroy people, I don't know what he is. You know, now he's got this new thing that he's doing. If you guys aren't familiar with what a monster Bill Gates is, I don't even know how to break it down to you. The man wants to block out the sun. He wants to cut down all the trees and bury them because he says that that's going to solve the pollution. That's insane. When trees take carbon out of the air, like that's an insane thing to say. And anybody that's listening to that man, don't be hoodwinked. So anyway, and that's just a little couple of the things. But he's got this new company. It's called Savor, right? It sounds so good. Savor. Sounds so good. They make fake butter. Now, I don't know completely how they make the butter, but what they say, how they say they make it is they take carbon dioxide and carbon from the atmosphere and they make it into butter. Well, hold up now. They make the carbon from the atmosphere into butter. So they want to put carbon into your body instead of you eating the natural, organic stuff that you're supposed to. They're trying to kill you, you guys. They're trying to kill you. Now, Bill Gates is also the largest landowner in the whole country. He owns a massive amount of farmland, you guys. This is why he's making all this fake stuff. He's also got a fake salmon company. Okay, they make fake fish meat. Now, they've just been approved by the FDA. This is why I don't mess with the FDA, but that's a whole nother conversation. And they're making fake fish, you know? Like, this is crazy. Like, you got to watch out for these people because when they say that when anybody tells you, oh, it's global warming or whatever, they don't care about the actual environment. You're the carbon that they want to eliminate. Facts. Straight facts, full stop, period, exclamation mark. Okay, period with a T. Okay, it's crazy. Are you going to eat fake butter? Tell me, drop a comment in the comments. Would you eat fake butter that's made out of carbon out of the air? Or do you want regular real butter? Which one do you want? Drop a comment. I'll pop it up on screen. Let's get a couple of those going. I want to hear what you guys say. Do you want to also eat fake fish? You want any of that? Okay, let's talk about that. Now, I want to talk about another thing that's very, very, very serious, okay? And we're going to talk internationally. We're going to bring it back to the stateside. So right now with Gaza and the whole situation with the issue over there with Israel and Gaza or whatever, right now, Israel has come forward and they're saying, we're just going to take over all of Gaza and we're going to push all of Hamas out. And people are like, oh no, you can't do that. And I'm like, I've been saying that since day one. It's like you guys don't listen. Like I've been saying that since day one. I talk about that like every 2 episodes. Every other episode, I'm talking about greater Israel and what Israel's trying to do. And it's like nobody wants to listen, even though it's very obvious and evident what they want to do. They want to take over the whole West Bank, whatever's left of it. There's not much left of the West Bank. That's a whole separate conversation. They want to take over all of Gaza. They want to take over Lebanon. They want to take over parts of Jordan and Syria. Like people need to wake up to what's really going on, right? So this whole thing of, oh, they're going to take over Gaza now, that's not news to me. You're not telling me nothing. Netanyahu just came out his mouth and finally told the truth. This was the plan the whole time. And we got idiots out here talking about, well, it's a genocide over there. It's a genocide over there. No, it's not. It's not a genocide. It's a massive displacement. And now, because of that massive displacement, now people are starving. Oh, and now the people are starving. So now it's an issue. I thought it was a genocide. A genocide, everybody being all killed up, right? But if you would have addressed the issue of it being a displacement to begin with the right way that it needed to be addressed, we wouldn't be having this issue. I mean, perish the thought of actually addressing something that is logical in a logical way. But these people out there that are all of these Democrat socialists of America, okay, are out here waving all of these Palestinian flags and stuff like that, talking about death to America, down with America, and we got to overthrow America and all of this nonsense, this, that, and the third. And people are over here in America like, oh, it's okay, just let them do that. No, they need to be in prison. Realistically, they need to be put down like the enemy combatants that they have claimed themselves to be. And it's that simple. You're out there talking about you want to overthrow our government for foreign entities. Like you tripping. Like you tripping. You declared yourself to be an enemy of the United States of America and every American citizen. You need to go down, all the way down, underneath the ground. Drink, stay hydrated. Normally I have water. I got Gatorade today. Don't judge me, okay? I'm all out of water. Let's see. Somebody commented. Let's see. Anna commented, Hochul's catch and release. Absolutely. That's what's going on here. That's what we're dealing with. You know, it's crazy. She said, she also says something long. Let me see here. I got to lean in and read it. Okay. Nope. Man has to stop fooling around with our food. Hands off our butter. Stop fake/vaccinated meat and spraying our organic fruits and vegetables. Absolutely. So if you guys don't know, Bill Gates, back to the other part of the conversation, Bill Gates also has another company and it's called Appeal. Okay. And what it does is it's this spray topical solution that goes on the top of different vegetables and fruits and stuff like this. And it's supposed to stop it from rotting as fast as it normally would. But get this, we don't know what's in it. They're not releasing what chemicals are in it. It's all intellectual property, so they don't have to tell us nothing. And that's crazy. That's very much so crazy. Let's see, we got another comment here. Anna says, Melinda Gates has divorced him for a reason. Guy must be terrible to live with. I mean, I don't know. She's not very good herself. So, I mean, if she divorced him and she's pretty bad, how much more so does that say about him? But let's get back to the Palestine DSA people over here in America talking about they want to overthrow our country. All of them should be in prison, not regular prison either. They need to be in military prison. Okay, if it was up to me, we'd put them offshore in some container somewhere in a black site. You're not about to come over here and talk about you're gonna overthrow our country. Like, we ain't got time for that. We got enough problems internally as it is. Don't nobody got no time for you talking about you're gonna overthrow our country for foreign entities and foreign interests. You sound dumb. But these people out here waving all of these Palestinian flags, they don't care about the Palestinians. They don't care. That's just their rallying call to say that they're actually doing something and to act like they're actually doing something. Don't even get me started. Now, the DSA just had a, a convention in Chicago. These people shouldn't even be allowed to exist in this nation because their whole sole goal is to topple our government and destroy our way of life. Okay. And if you're not familiar with socialism and what it's all about, socialism's whole point is it's a philosophy to usher in communism. Communism is a form of government that socialism always ushers in. That is the whole point of it. Go read up on Marx and Lenin and Trotsky and the other guy's name is missing me at this point. But if you start reading on these people, like, you'll understand better what the whole point is. Marx said it himself. He said the whole point of socialism is to usher in communism. Like, people need to wake up. Like, this is so serious. Anna says, ain't nobody got time for that. Did I say that, Anna? I probably did. I think that's one. I think that at this point is one of my catchphrases, unintentional catchphrase, but I do say that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But these people, ain't nobody got time for them. For real, though. These people, now they're talking about they're going to run a candidate for president in 2028. Man, please, if y'all, man, listen, I got a lot of things to say, and I don't know if I can say how much of them I can say on the radio or online, okay? But the fact of the matter is these people shouldn't be allowed to exist here. They are the enemy of the common man and the common woman in our society, in the actual United States of America. They don't like us. They don't care for us. They want everything their way. They want to change and completely uproot our country. And I'm not with it. And I'm going to stand against it very ardently. And they try to play and pretend. Excuse me. They try to play and pretend like it's about Palestine or it's about Muslims. It ain't about none of that. It ain't about none of that. It's about power. It's about securing more power for themselves and giving more power to the government than the people. And they'll try to tell you, oh, well, socialism is about empowering the people. It's not. It absolutely is not, because you still need a ruling class to rule over the people to implement the things. And somehow those ruling people always end up with much more than the people, i.e. Cuba, i.e. Venezuela, i.e. Vietnam. Okay, I could go on. Laos, I can go on. Soviet Russia, okay, the USSR, the United Socialist Soviet States, right? Like, this is what the name of the place is. Like, we're not being real right now. Like, and they'll be like, oh, well, none of that was real socialism. You know better about socialism than Karl Marx? Come on now, don't play in my face. Don't play in my face. Listen, let's see. We got another comment. Let's see. Can't believe the Dem candidate in New York City is a socialist. Terrible. Maybe voters are going to wake up. Well, we can only hope that voters are going to wake up. We can only hope, but he shouldn't even be able to run for office. Let me make this very clear to you guys. It's so disgusting, making you want to spit. But let me make this very, 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 very clear. The fact of the matter is this. None of these foreigners should be able to run for office, period, point blank. I do not care what nobody says. Don't get in my comments and tell me something different, because I'm going to tell you go kick rocks. None of these foreigners should be able to run for office. I don't care. And I'm going to be honest, 100% honest right now with you guys. I barely want a second generation person to run for office. Like, you really got to be something extraordinary, out of the ordinary, pro-America, king of America type of foreigner for me to even consider giving you my vote. Some of these Chinese anti-communist nationalists, so some of those very proud American Chinese people are some of those good people. Brandon Chow, love you, brother. Okay, and some other people in New York City. It's a couple ladies, Lily Tang in California. A couple of them are pretty solid. But for the most point, I don't want no foreigners elected to office. They shouldn't even be able to run. Period. Point blank. This dude is Indian from Uganda who's rich, talking about he wants to give people all the billionaires stuff. Sorry with your stuff, dude. You just spent $10 million on a wedding like 2 weeks ago for your wedding. Are you serious, bro? You know how many people you could have helped in New York City with $10 million? I thought you called yourself a socialist. Stop playing in my face. Like, these people are champagne socialists. These people are the type of people in the ruling class that will do whatever they can to bamboozle the people to actually stay in power. Anna says, facts, USA first. That's right, Anna. America first, last, and always. That's it. And only. You understand what I'm saying? The only priority for anybody that's in office in America should be the United States of America. That's it, period, point blank. Not Palestine, not a Israel, not a Ukraine, not a Venezuela, not a Myanmar, I don't care, okay? I don't care. It shouldn't be any other place but America. We just had this lady, I don't know where she's from. I forget where she's from. But this Guatemalan lady, she's in the House of Representatives or whatever. She was just on Latin America tour down there. And she's like, yeah, my whole thing is about Guatemala first and prioritizing Guatemala. Excuse me? You're not in the House of Representatives for Guatemala. You're in the House of Representatives for the United States of America. You took a pledge to our nation to help our citizens, to uphold our Constitution. And here you are talking about you're putting another country ahead of America. You make it make sense to me, y'all. Make it make sense, please. It's so frustrating what these people go on about and then act like it's normal and it's okay. And it's because people let them get away with it. Citizens should not be letting them get away with this nonsense. Her, Ilya and Omar, I only care about Somalia. Get out of my country. Go ahead back. Your brother banging guy, okay? She was banging her brother and she married her brother to get citizenship in the U.S. She should be thrown back out, okay? Rashida Tlaib, okay? Who the other one? What's the other one? Some crazy person from Maine recently. It just became a mayor or something. That lady too. Okay. And it's also crazy how you look at it that most of these people are women, but we're going to have that conversation on a whole nother conversation and another time. you know, because they figure that they can get up one on you with women because you be unassuming because they're women. Don't let your guard down around these women, especially in politics. They are some of the most ruthless, cutthroat people that have ever existed. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. Somebody else says something. What we got? Anna says, an exemption could be made for those who know how bad communism and socialism is and to avoid it. That's why I just said I mentioned a couple of people like Lily Tang and Brandon Cho. And there's a couple of these Cubans too. You know, I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but they know. You know, and this is a problem. Or that Maria Salazar, right? Like, and she's supposed to be a Republican. Toss her behind out of office also. Talking about, oh, we need to have what do you call it? Amnesty for all of the illegal aliens. You can go to Mexico or wherever your people from. Don't play in my face. I know that you're making money off of this. I know that you're trying to stay in office indefinitely. And that goes for Mike Lawler too. Okay, he up here in New York State talking about, yeah, we should get him amnesty. No, we should get you out of office in the next election cycle next year. Okay, you need to be gone, bro. You tripping. Tripping. Crazy. Then what is his district? Suffolk or something? Where all the rich people are? They don't care. It don't affect them. They just want their gardens to be done cheap. Tuh. Disgusting. Despicable. Okay. Anna says, oh yeah, Lily Tang is all right. Yeah, I love Lily Tang. And she's very pro Second Amendment too. But anyway, these people are insane and they want to tear down America. Okay, the Democrat Socialists of America, they gotta go. They are the enemy of every single American citizen, especially the Black American community and the Puerto Rican American community. Okay, these people are our open enemies, and they will do anything that they can to work to try to get in our face and pretend like they're for us when they're not. So don't fall for the flim flam. Now, I do want to talk about some other stuff. We were talking a little bit about all of the greenie people and Bill Gates and stuff like that. I want to talk about all of the insanity that's going on with all of these different crazy disasters, right? Like, we've been having more than your normal amount of natural disasters, and people are like, oh well, it's global warming. Is it though? It's not. Don't play in my face. But this is what they'll try to tell you: everything's global warming. So there were 7 volcanoes that erupted all at one time over in Russia. Is that global warming too? That's global warming. We're going to talk about that. There's other ones that erupted in the Pacific also, which was what caused that giant tsunami alert down there in Florida. I mean, not in Florida, but in Hawaii and in Japan. So, and the Philippines. So those are very serious issues. You understand what I'm saying? But how that happened? And then all of a sudden, we got all of these crazy different weather patterns up here. It's crazy hot for no real apparent reason. We got all of these floods going on all across the country. Minneapolis just got hit real hard. Minneapolis? Yeah, Minneapolis just got hit really hard. No, not Minneapolis. Milwaukee. Excuse me. Same difference. They just got hit really hard. And just all of this stuff is out of nowhere, right? All of this stuff is out of nowhere. And people are like, oh, well, it's global war. It's not. These are weather warfare games that are being waged against the people of America. Now, if you want to say that it's privatized weather warfare by people like Bill Gates, who says that he's spraying stuff in the sky to block out the sun, what an idiot, right? Like, who's buying that nonsense? You spray stuff in the sky to block the sun, you're going to make the earth hotter, you retard. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, don't buy. And what are you even spraying in the sky anyway? You know, so don't even listen to these people. They don't have anything for you. They don't want anything good for you. They're all rich, they're all wealthy, and they're demanding that they can figure out a way to keep it that way and keep you subjugated. So I'm telling you, all of these different weathers, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the crazy weird floods, the tornadoes happening out of nowhere, the hurricanes in the middle of the country. Hurricanes in the middle of the country. You make that make sense. Ain't no way a hurricane can happen in the middle of the country. Hurricane needs salt water. Hurricane needs low pressure, high pressure, all at the same time in a massive amount of water to create itself. How that will happen? How that happen? That don't happen. Come on now. Nonsense. Let's see. let's see. Anna says the Democrat socialists are trash. Got another comment here. Let's see. We got Anna says follow Kevin Williams. He's a meteorologist who makes sense of global warming as a scam. Yes, ma'am. I love Kevin Williams. He's awesome. I like him a lot. He's a really good dude. But all of this nonsense that's going on, and they try to say, oh, well, this is the con, you guys. This is the con. And now if you were up here or maybe even if you're in the Northeast, but if you're not the Northeast, I'm in the Northeast, but if you're in the Northeast or maybe even in the Northwest, you might have seen some of that crazy cloud cover that was smoke that was coming down from Canada because they don't know how to manage their forests or whatever the case is. Honestly, it's not because they don't manage their forests. It is, but it's not. It's because they've been doing it intentionally. They've been doing it intentionally. They've been setting them fires intentionally. This is all part of a much bigger plan. I'm trying to tell you now. We'll dig down into it in another episode because there's still so much I want to get through. But all of this, think about this. In the last month, more carbon has been put into the environment from these Canadian wildfires than would have of 1,000 years of gasoline cars. Come on now, let's say that again. If more carbon has been put into the atmosphere right now in the last couple of weeks from all of these forest fires in Canada than would have been put from the US by all gasoline cars for 1,000 years, they are lying to you. I'm just here to tell you the news, okay? You take it for a grain of salt or whatever. I'm trying to tell you, it's time to wake up. You are the carbon that they want to eliminate. Drink water, stay hydrated. But this is real. This is real. And people don't want to talk about it. Please share this video. Drop a comment, hit a retweet. I see a lot more of y'all watching. Then hit the like button, hit a heart. And even if you're watching, just drop a hello or a thumbs up or a heart, an American flag, whatever. All of it helps kick the algorithm to get it out to more people so we can have these important conversations that need to be had. Because where else but here? You know what I'm saying? Nobody else wants to talk about this stuff, not the way that we need to. Now, speaking on that, and now in Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia's in Canada. Nova Scotia's up over here. Yeah, up over this way. So that's northeast from where I am, Nova Scotia. But Nova Scotia is excuse me. Nova Scotia has made it so you can't even go hiking anymore in the forest. You can't go hiking. Now, if you know anything about Nova Scotia is mostly forest. It's like 80% forest. I might be embellishing a little bit. It might be like 70, 75% forest. Nova Scotia is mostly forest. Okay. So the crazy thing is they're like, oh, well, you can't even go out and go for a walk if your land, hold on now, if your land is in a forested part of Nova Scotia, you can't even go out there. And it's punishable by a $25,000 fine. A friend of mine up there just sent me a picture of his fine. It was like $23,998. You know, because he dared to go out on his own property, on his own land. So this is the problem, you guys. This is the totalitarian authoritarianism. This is what they're going to do. So they want to say, oh, it's about the carbon, it's about the environment, it's about this. No, these are called climate shutdowns, okay? Go look up climate shutdowns. I don't have time to get into it the way I want to right now. Climate shutdowns, they're coming. This is what is the preemptive start to it. I'm telling you, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And we have to get these messages out to more people because these aren't things that are talked about very often. You know, so we got to talk about these things. So let's see, we got a comment. Let's see. Manage the forest in California and Canada doesn't mean to burn. They doesn't need to burn every year. It's 100% right. 100% right. Let's see. And then we got USA. I support that all day long. USA, y'all. Okay, but anyway, let's get back into it. So as we get into it, let's see. Oh, pop this up here. Pop that up there. Please do that as she's asking right there. Please do that. Okay. And if you're on the radio, please tune in to us on YouTube. You can catch us on YouTube, catch the show on YouTube. It's the Marcus C. Williams channel, and you'll find us. You'll see The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. You can search it there. And there's a whole playlist for it. All right. So let's go on to some other stuff, right? Speaking of the fires, right? Speaking of the fires, and I'm glad, Anna, that you brought up California. Let's talk about those California fires where they burnt down, what's it, Altamira, and they burnt down the Palisades, right? Now, guess what's happening with all that land over there and all of those people whose houses were burned down that many of the insurance companies aren't covering and stuff like that? Now that stuff is being bought up by the Chinese, by Chinese nationals. Okay, Chinese nationals should not be allowed to buy any property in the United States of America anywhere. They should be banned from buying any land here at all. And what's happening in California, and I'm not able to get this message out to you enough, please pay attention. What's happening in California? California is the landing bed for China's insertion into the United States of America. They control all of the ports in California. They control every single port, okay? They're buying up massive amounts of land. They've even got their own politicians in government in California. They've got this lady that's in charge of the head of the board of elections that is a Chinese national, not even an American citizen, okay? That is a Chinese national that doesn't even speak English, that's in charge of the board of elections in California. What the flying monkey's uncles is going on? And these are the conversations that we need to have. China is the biggest threat to the United States of America. Okay. Second biggest threat is like George Soros and these elite people, Bill Gates and them. They're the second biggest threat, you know, and this is a problem. This is a serious, serious problem because now they're buying up all of those properties over there. They're using that. They're going to claim what's going to happen. I guarantee you, if China keeps going the way that it's going, they're essentially going to have their own sovereign state of California. They're not going to call it that, but it's all going to be managed like that. Do you guys remember a couple months ago, they busted a whole bio lab? Let me say that again. They busted a Chinese bio lab in California. What do you mean there's a Chinese bio lab for diseases and plant diseases that they're cultivating there so that they can use it on our crops and our people? Are you stupid? And you letting these people buy up property and stuff? Man, please. Don't get me started, because I've even said something that really hurt somebody's feelings. Okay, so I mean, but these are the big, big, big things that we need to have these serious conversations about because nobody's having conversations about these important issues. Very, very important. Very, very important. And I know everybody doesn't like Trump or whatever the case is. Hold on, we got a comment. It says Chinese is buying up luxury properties and all the coastal is prime luxury real estate. Yeah. So you know that if they're buying up prime real estate, you know that they're tied deeply with the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. So, and we know that all of them spy for the Chinese Communist Party. It's an obligation for them to. Like they don't have a way out of it, even if they wanted to. So that's a very important thing. So, and I know people don't like the president or whatever the case is. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm about good policy. Now, an interesting thing is, since he got in office, homeboy has been doing peace all over the world. Okay? Like for real, for real. Like we just talked on, I believe it was last episode or maybe the episode before where he solved the issue with, what was it? Thailand and Laos? Was it Thailand and Laos? Maybe it was Thailand and Cambodia. Excuse me for not remembering off the top of my head. It's not a biggest issue of where it is, but it's over there and it was with Thailand. And Trump brokered a peace deal with them. Trump's brokering peace deals all over the place. Trump just brokered as a Christian. This is before, let me preface this. As a Christian, this thing that Trump just did is one of the most important things in the history of Christendom that has been done. So what he did was Trump just negotiated a peace deal with Azerbaijan and and Armenia. Wow. As a Christian, I'm so happy about that. Okay, now if you guys aren't familiar with Azerbaijan, but you might or might not be, I've talked about them before on on here and stuff like that. They massacred and completely genocided the Armenians in Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan is a Muslim country and Armenians are Christian. Okay, that's very, very important. Much love to all of you guys over there. Blessings. Okay, but Trump just negotiated a peace deal between them. That's amazing. Like, that is some next level, man. If they don't give this dude a peace deal now, he brokered peace in where was it the other week? Like in not Uganda. Was it the Congo? Doesn't even matter. Just everywhere. It's like every week he's brokering more peace, more peace, more peace. You know, and everybody hates him. Like, give him credit for something. I mean, golly gosh, homeboy needs a peace prize. If he don't get a peace prize, there's no justice. That's what it is. There ain't no justice if he don't get a peace prize for all he's been doing. Okay, and again, you don't have to like him, but the fact is, this is stuff that he's actually doing, and I don't even know, like that. I'm dumbfounded at the fact that he brokered a peace deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia. That is amazing. That is amazing. Wow. So, speaking of peace deals and wars and stuff like that, right now, Trump is set to have a meeting with Putin in August 15th, and that's going to be in Alaska. I really wish I could be there for that. That'd be awesome. But he's going to have a meeting with Putin in Alaska in relation to deepening partnerships for natural minerals and stuff like that, mineral resources, because Russia's really rich in natural resources. So those type of things, and the Ukraine, and actually putting some peace there. And Zelensky is mad, mega mad. And if you guys have listened to me before, he is a tin pot dictator. Okay. And somebody was, well, Putin's not any good. I'm not talking about Putin. I'm talking about Zelensky. Okay. I think it's pretty much well accepted that Putin is not the best of all people in the world, right? But Zelensky is held up as a measure of a man, you know, and he's not. He's a tin pot dictator that is over there, that has set war against Christianity in the nation of Ukraine, which is crazy to me. They're over there blowing up churches, burning down churches, defiling churches, raping nuns, imprisoning priests, okay, executing people that are Christian. It's insane. And we can't even talk about it because we got to hold him up to something like he's not. Like, homeboy isn't a full-on Nazi. Okay, like we can't have that talk. You can't have that talk. Oh, there are no Nazis in the Ukraine or whatever. Stop playing in my face. You don't even know the history of Ukraine to say a nonsense thing like that. Okay, so that's a whole nother conversation. Okay, and the people in Ukraine suffer because of this dictator. Okay, because Zelensky is out there force conscripting young men off the street. You know, because he's sending them out to the front lines with little or no support, with little or no weapons training. Most of these people out there, they got like no training, you know? And so that's a whole nother conversation. And they're just being like 13, 14-year-old young boys are being thrown out in the front line. Like, what is even going on there? And forced. Like, they will execute you. They will shoot you in the head if you do not actually go out there and go to war. Like, that's how he rolls over there. He's stopped all the elections since he got in office. He said, we won't have another election. Okay. And even NATO said, well, if you want to join NATO, you got to make a whole lot of reforms, because you can't have that. And you shut down all of the news outlets that weren't run by the government. I'm telling you, this guy is bad news, and I hope that they get somebody else better in there, okay? And I want our money back, fact, okay? I see some comments there. We're going to pop those up in a couple of moments, okay? But the fact of the matter is, with this whole Zelensky thing, you see, he just a couple weeks ago, and you can go look this up. Again, I'll tell you all the time, don't believe me because I'm saying it. Believe me because I am telling you. And it is with that confidence that I tell you, go look it up. So a couple weeks ago, Zelensky ended the corruption task force that was going up after all the people that had all the corruption in the government, because they're all corrupt. Now, if you know anything about Ukraine, Ukraine is one of the most corrupt nations in the history of the world. They have been known as the center of corruption for Europe for decades, essentially since they got loose from the Soviet Union, when the Soviet Union broke up, when they used to be part of Russia. But we can't talk about that. And the people there are sick and tired of the corruption because the people hurt. While people like Zelensky have buy 10, 15 homes. I don't know how many homes they got. Last time I checked, it was like 12. Okay, different homes. This dude used to be a comedian on the television. How you got 12 different homes? You understand what I'm saying? All across the world. Millions of dollars. Man, listen, don't get me started. Don't get me started at all. But he's mad because Trump is meeting with Putin and he's like, oh, well, you can't have a peace talk with Putin. You got to meet with us. Who the heck are you? You and NATO were out there doing, and you guys can again go look this up. You and the European people were over there having peace talks, okay, without Russia. How do you have a peace talk without Russia? How that make sense with me? Okay, how you gonna have a peace talk without Russia? Ain't no peace talk without Russia. You sound dumb, and people fall for this nonsense, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, and then they're gonna be like, oh, well, you can't meet with them because you shouldn't. Who is this guy? You understand what I'm saying? He ain't long for life after he stops being president. I guarantee you that. Okay? I guarantee you that. But the fact of the matter is this. Zelensky has said multiple times that he doesn't want to negotiate with Russia. He doesn't want to negotiate with Russia. And there was an original, before all of this happened, like this is very important, you guys. So hit the like button, hit the share button, get this message out there. This is one of the most important things to know and understand about the issue over there in Ukraine. Okay, so there are Ukrainians that identify as ethnic Ukrainians and Ukrainians that identify as ethnic Russians. Now, the ethnic Russians live essentially on the east side of the country, and they were being slaughtered by the Ukrainian government. Okay, and that's why this whole thing kicked off, because the autonomous regions that were supposed to be under self-governance of Donetsk, and Luhansk, okay, and there's one other one, were supposed to be their own autonomous regions, right? But then they started to come under attack from the Ukrainian government, and they were getting slaughtered. So a lot of these people out there, they're like, oh, it's Russia over there, it's Russia over there. Most of those people are Ukrainian people fighting. Yes, there are some Russians over there, but it's mostly Ukrainians from those areas that are fighting. I remember when the whole thing first started, I was doing reporting on it, and I'm like, they had like 50,000, 25,000, 150,000 men in those different units for those different areas. And that was a serious thing. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people. My town, my city, we only got like 180,000. That's a lot of people. So, and those were the workforce of the whole thing over there, you know, and they begged and begged and begged Russia to come in and help them, because they were being slaughtered just because they're ethnically Russian, which is similar to what was going on in Armenia and Azerbaijan. They were slaughtering the Armenians because they're ethnically Armenian and they knew that they were Christian. So it's a similar circumstance. So now, when Russia got involved to begin with, they said, okay, here's what we want. We want these autonomous regions that are supposed to be autonomous to be able to be autonomous, because they voted in those regions to become a part of Russia because Ukraine was killing them up. I'm not mad at them. Soon there's going to be a referendum in Puerto Rico again. I'm tired of Puerto Rico having referendums. I feel like they do it every year. But there's going to be on Puerto Rican independence. So that's a thing. So these countries have referendums. There was one in, Alberta. And they wanted a referendum to secede from Canada and become part of the United States. God bless them and their move. I hope you get it. We'll welcome you into the United States with open arms. So, but these things happen in the world, you know? So, but we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that at all. And we need to. Somebody dropped a comment. Let's see. Anna says Zelensky needs to step away from the nose candy and stop embezzling our money. Enough is enough. Absolutely right, Anna. It's so ridiculous. He's the worst, man. He really is not good at all. Okay. Let's see. The legacy media has to start reporting soon. Yeah, they need to report. They need to report facts. They really do, and they don't. Let's see. It says, yep, he's brokering peace deals all over the place, talking about Trump. He's brokering peace deals all over the place, just stunning Nobel Peace Prize should be a thing. Obama didn't earn his. Okay, so I don't know what Obama did to get a peace prize. He didn't do anything as far as I could see, but that's neither here nor there. If he did get one, you know what I'm saying? Trump should definitely get one. And again, this isn't me lifting him up. This is just straight facts. Homeboy is legitimately brokering peace all over the place. It's crazy. Every time I turn around, I can't even keep track of all the peace deals. So it's really serious. Now, Zelensky and Europe are mad at the US for talking to Russia, because at the end of the day, what they want to do is they want to break up Russia and they want to split up Russia. It's not because they're scared that Russia is going to invade Europe. Russia ain't going to invade Europe. Russia can't bust a grape for all intents and purposes. Russia invades Europe. The whole east side of Russia is going to be taken over by China. Russia's not dumb. Okay. Like, they don't have enough people to hold any land or territory in any part of Europe. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they don't have they just don't have the manpower. They couldn't do it. It's physically not possible. They could nuke them, you know what I'm saying? But they couldn't occupy them. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's stupid. And anybody that says anything like that is willfully ignorant of the history of warfare in that area and the size and ability of the Russian military. Ridiculous nonsense. But I want to talk about this back stateside, is this redistricting that we have going on, that the Democrats are mad in Texas. So like little crying wine babies, they ran away to other Democrat-run states like Chicago. I know Chicago's not a state, but you know that's where a lot of them are, in the city of Chicago. Chicago, which is funny because it was a Democratic Socialist convention in Chicago. We just talked about that a little bit earlier, right? Think with your brain, okay? I'm telling you guys. Okay, so a lot of them are out of the state because they don't want there to be a vote to change the districts there. Well, wait a second. You're supposed to be serving your people in that area. And they're like, oh, well, we're running away because we don't want that to happen. And we're doing it because it's for the best interest of our constituents. No, it's not. That's not how you do your job. You don't have any business running around to another state, okay? That's crazy. Like, that's crazy that you just abdicated your job. You're like, I'm just not going to work because I don't agree with what's going on there, but I'm going to tell everybody that I should still represent them and they should still pay my check. Like, you sound crazy, bro. Like, you sound really crazy. But this is these people. They think that they can pull the flim flam on you and you'll just go for all the nonsense. That's it. They don't respect you at all. Drink water, stay hydrated. Now, one of the big, very important things about this gerrymandering thing, for instance, you take California or you take New York, Newsom and Kathy, right? Governor Gruesome Newsom, and I call her the high priestess Kathy. I can't stand her, y'all. I'm sorry. There ain't nothing about her. She's a whole witch, okay? Ever since she got up in front of that church and said that God speaks through me, that God told me that everybody needs to get those shots, and then she had the nerve to have a necklace that said vaxxed? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's what we're not doing. That's what we're not doing at all. So she's out there talking about, oh, well, we're gonna change our districts here. They just changed the districts. The last time they're supposed to do it like every 10 years or whatever the case is, but they just changed the districts recently. And they got thrown out by all the Democrat judges here. Like, we got a state full of Democrat judges appointed by Democrat people, and the Democrats threw out the things and they said, these lines are so unconstitutional, it's crazy. So she out there talking about, oh, well, all of this and all of that. And you should see the way our state is gerrymandered right now. California's crazy off the chain too. And again, it's not about serving the people. It's about them staying in power. And I need you to recognize and understand this about the Democrat Party right now, because they're telling you that they're about you and everything like that. But it's very clear that they're doing this to keep their own power. And Kathy Hochul got on the news yesterday. She even reposted it on her Twitter. You know, I couldn't help but to say so. I don't know why she would put that out there. She's like, oh, I'm doing this to protect our democracy. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic, and you know it. Like, what are you even talking about? What she meant was she's protecting the Democrat Party itself. And that doesn't mean Democrat citizens. That means Democrat Party. That means all of the elites in the Democrat Party, they're keeping power for themselves because they do not care about you. You do not matter to them, but you guys matter to me. And that's what's important. So it's very, very important that you see the flim flam in the game that these people are playing on you. It's really, really hardcore. Let's see. I want to talk about a couple more things as we start to get into the tail end of the show. This is important. So I was watching the news the other day in I forget what news channel it is, some Spanish news channel, like international. It wasn't like Telemundo or something or Univision or something. It was like international something. But anyway, the president of Colombia got on the news, and he was doing a speech and stuff like that. He was like, man, listen. This is the president of Colombia, right? In his Spanish language accent. I'm not able to do that. It would be bad. So I'm just not even going to try. But he's like, man, listen here. He's like, all the U.S. is talking about. I just talked to Trump. He said he might bomb the mafia and the gangs and talking about the cartels out here in Colombia. That he might bomb Colombia. And he's like, man, I don't know what to tell you, but this is some serious stuff. And I'd rather that we be partners with them on this than they just go around and unilaterally do whatever they want to with it. First of all, I'm very pro-America. So I'm like, bomb, 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 bomb. Okay, bomb. Okay. I'm joking. I'm half serious. I'm not like 70% serious. I don't care. Blow up the cartels. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that noise. I'm largely it's about the human trafficking for me. Okay, that's a big part of their game and stuff like that ties into the drugs and stuff like that and the drugs that are being pumped into my community. Now, I don't know why he was talking about Colombia. I thought that Colombia was really taken off the map as one of the larger producers of the different drugs and stuff like that, but apparently they're still up there high. And I see some comments on there. I'll pop them up in a second. But the Colombian president was like, man, listen here. It's about to be a whole storm. And the U.S. is about to come through real hard. And then I saw Shannon Baum, or whatever her name is, the president of Mexico. She's like, man, listen, Trump out here talking about he about to have them attack the cartels. It's about to go down. Y'all better be on notice. And I'm like, listen, okay? Like he about homeboy out here doing big, big things. Again, my biggest issue with the cartels is human trafficking, bro. The stuff that they do to these children, and I just, I can't even, I'm not even able to say it the way I want to, you know. But let's see, we got a couple comments and then we'll get back into it. Anna says, Hulkle witchy woo, no thank you. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got. We got Anna says, any movement on the Protect Act yet in Albany? No movement on the Protect Act. But again, it's the same thing. They don't want to fix bail reform, or they won't want to fix the raise the age laws. They don't want the Protect Act because the Protect Act tries to address some of those issues. So they don't want to do anything because, again, like I said earlier, they purposefully want this destabilization in working class and impoverished communities. Their whole goal is to push the people that are living in these neighborhoods out of these neighborhoods, because the end result is going to be them working to put 15-minute cities together. If you guys aren't familiar with what 15-minute cities are, please go look them up. Again, don't believe me because I'm saying it. Believe me because I'm telling you. Okay? Go look it up. So yeah, so it's real serious. They don't want to do any of that. And then a couple of interesting things also, speaking about the presidency, we also have a number of investments, like Apple's talking about they're putting $500 billion into the U.S., into different plants and minerals and distribution and stuff like that. So that's awesome. That's going to be a real big deluge of stuff that's going to come out from that. We also have Ford is now talking about they're going to put $5 billion in their next thing that they're doing, which they're calling the, I guess, and I'm paraphrasing it, the new Model T movement, right? Like, that's not what it's officially called, but that's what they're calling it. They're saying essentially, because the whole concept of the Model T was they wanted to build the Model T so that it could be an everyman's car. So the Model T was the German equivalent of the Volkswagen Beetle, right? Like they said they wanted a car for everybody, so they made the Volkswagen Beetle. That's where the Beetle came from. Same thing in the US. They wanted a car for everybody. That was the Model T. So now they're trying to do this, but they want to do it with electric cars. All electric cars are a lie. They just want it so that they can control you and they can shut down your car wherever you go. And this is a whole nother separate conversation. If you can avoid it, don't get them cars with them auto stops in them or any of that nonsense, because all of this is about government control. But that's for a whole nother separate conversation and a whole nother episode. But as we have these important conversations, we got a couple more comments here. You guys drop a comment, be part of the show. Drop a comment. I'll pop your comment up on the screen and you can share in the conversation. Hit the heart button, hit the like button, share this. Okay, share the comments. Share this on your page, share it on your friend's page, share it on your enemy's page. Hit the retweet button. Don't cost you nothing. Let's hit this other comment here. Got another comment. Okay, it says, yes, fentanyl, trank spreading. Let me see, can I show it on the stage? Yes, fentanyl, trank spreading from Philly to California and probably New York State. Sex trafficking needs to stop. Yeah, the sex trafficking needs to stop. Now, let me talk about this sex trafficking. So when I say human trafficking, sex trafficking is a part of it, you guys. And it's a terrible, horrible situation. But one of the least talked about aspects of it is the human organ trafficking that is going on. They are trafficking these people for their organs. They are trafficking these people to be human sacrifices. They are breeding these children without any birth certificates so they can be used for sacrifices and organ harvesting and all types of other stuff. Like this is like the amount of despicable evil and villainy that these people are a part of. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's hard for, even when I say it, like I'm sure it's hard for many of you guys to believe it because it's just such an appalling thought in the mind. And it's very, very, very serious. And it's a very, very real serious issue. But people don't talk about it. So nobody knows about it really. That's why I do my best to talk to you and have the important conversations with you guys that we need to have out there in the world. So please do share this out and do drop comments because every comment helps a lot. Got another comment here. Electric buses in school districts in New York in winter is bull poop. That's right. That's right. It really is. So in New York State, they've got this whole nonsense where they're trying to force all of the districts to do electric buses. But the electric buses don't work very well, one, with the grid, because the grid is not manageable enough for them to actually have the support that they need to actually power these buses. That's its whole own problem. But also because there is a degradation of the battery in the wintertime, right? When it gets cold, especially up here. Man, listen, in the winter, it can get cold. Like it's not just freezing cold, like it's sub-zero cold. Like we're generally like for months, we're like below 33 degrees. We're below 33 degrees, okay, which is freezing point. And a lot of the time lately, especially over the last couple of years, even minus a lot of snow, it's been even colder than that, like mad mega cold, like real serious cold. So buses don't do very well in that. That's going to cause a lot of problems. There's so many issues with this push for electric things in our area. And it's a problem. But again, it's all intentional. It's about limiting mobility. It's about pushing a prerogative that is not the best interest of the citizens. That's what it's all about. All of this is, at the end of the day, it's power and control, you guys. It's power and control. And right now, what's facing us is, again, we don't have a lot of people that are willing to get active. And that's why I encourage you to get active on the local level. Whether you know what, here's my deal. Here's what I'll tell you as we get out of here. Get active on the local level, okay? Wherever you are, you pick your thing, whether it's city council, town council, whether it's fire district where you are, whether it's school board, okay? Whether it's county ledge, okay, wherever you are, get active because nobody is coming to save us. Okay? We have to be the ones to be the change. We have to be the change that we want to see because nobody is coming to save us. And this waiting on some crazy savior to come down or saying, oh, well, the president is going to do something about it. Nobody coming to save us. The president don't even got all that much power. Okay? Let's be real. And again, it's not about who the president is or anything. It's about the fact that we need to focus on the local level. That's where we can make and impact the most change. Okay? So get active. Pick what do they say? Pick a struggle, right? Whether it's city council, whether it's school district, fire district, whatever. Get active. Maybe even if you're a Democrat or Republican, join one of your local committees. Okay, they've got political committees where you are. Join one of your local committees. That's what I got for you guys today. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action, be blessed, and be well. Thank you guys for listening to The Divide on WRFZ 106.3 Rochester Free Radio. We are here every Monday in your ear having the conversations that you need to hear, 2:30 to 4 p.m. Share this with your friends, your family. Heck, tell your enemies up the street and down the street to tune in to The Divide Mondays, 2:30 to 4 p.m. I'll catch you guys later. Be blessed and be well. All right, you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're working on getting another show started up where we talk about just the legislation, okay, that's going on. And we're going to be working on getting some stuff together in relation to that so that we can bring more attention to what's going on in legislation. I know a lot of times legislation is dry, but it's ever so important. So when we start this, hopefully you guys tune into that and share those shows also, because legislation is so crucial, you guys. It's everything. And I mean, when I say legislation is everything, I mean it is absolutely everything. It's the difference between your toilet going flush when you hit it and it not. It's the difference between you having quality schools and you not. It's the difference from you being able to have your garbage picked up and it not. It is so important. So we're working on that, Lord willing. What they say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, right? Lord willing, we'll have something going on there. It's coming up soon. Anna says, great show today. Stay hydrated. That's right. It's like 96 degrees out here right now. It's crazy. And Anna says, all politics is local. That's it. So I'll catch you guys soon. Please share this video. Every share really helps a lot. And you can donate to the show. You see the different options. We got Cash App, $ MW Real 1. Okay, you can do it like that. You can do the PayPal. You can do at Marcus C. Williams on PayPal or Venmo. And if you'd like to support the radio station here directly, you can do that on by going to Radio Free at Rochester Radio Free at gmail.com. And you can tell them that you want to support our show, and you can become a sponsor that way also. Or just do the Cash App, which is $ MW Real 1, or the Venmo or PayPal, which is at Marcus C. Williams. We're working to raise between $25 and $50 an episode because we want to get these conversations and have them more often and get them out to more people. So we'll catch you guys later. Share this out. I love you all. Remember, stay strong, be blessed and be well. Stand up, speak up, and don't shut up. Take action.